Hello, it's Oliver. This is a video about perspectives, and the actual question was how to get one layer onto multiple screens. So here we go. We have quite a simple setup, center to screen and two side screens. So let's bring in some content onto our center screen. There we go. That is beautiful. And we're going to drop some content onto our side screen. There we go. Going to set this to fill. Now we want to have actually this layer going to those two screens, or here is what we're going to do. We're going into the inner compositing. You could press shortcut D as well. And what we are going to do now is we're going to select the perspectives. And what we're going to do now is we're going to drag the perspective of the right screen and drag it on top of our left screen. With the shift, we're going to align our screens. So jump out again. So now we actually having a duplicate, so this layer is actually going to be reflected on those two screens. You could do that with as many screens as you would like to. You just have to stack the perspective as shown. So this is good, this is all fine to go. Now what we actually do want to have is we want to have a second queue where you actually want to show different things on your side screen. So, but we have actually stacked the perspectives on top of each other. So the question is how we're going to do that. So let's jump out of it again. Let's extend this container, and we're going to bring some more content onto our left screen. And as thought, it's going to show up on both screens once more. Oh, let's align that here. Now we're going to the layer, and here's one trick that I've learned from Jan Hansen. Thank you so much for that. And it says screen presence. Now the screen presence is set to the screen group. Now I want to change this. So by changing the drop down here and going from screen group to home screen, this tells that layer to only show up on the home screen. Voila! And it always just shows up on our left screen, just the way we want it to be. So we need some more content and bring that into the right screen. Same thing, perspectives are still stacked. So going into our layer 4, we're going to grab the screen presence and set this onto home screen, and we have that just as we thought we would have just on the right screen. So we have one layer that addresses both screens, and we have a second scene that basically fills the screens separately. Now, one thing you need to know is as we have stacked the perspectives, the question would be, okay, how do I actually do a picture-in-picture, or how do I actually work with my content in that screen? So we have the left. First thing we need to do is we need to select the layers in compositing. Now I can, as before, work with my content, rearrange my content to my picture-in-picture, save it as keyframes, everything as expected. But we're not seeing the right screen in our inner compositing. So how do we do that? Let's jump out of it again, and you can actually, in the outer compositing, you can select a screen. You won't see what you've actually selected, but the selection is there. So I'm going to select just click on the right screen. I'm going to dive into the inner compositing, and voila, we're going to see the perspective of the screen that we have selected on top of the other. Now we can go ahead and realign that content, do the picture in picture and everything we need to basically do to work with the content in our screen as we would have done it in a usual way. So that was basically it. If you have any questions, let us know and drop us an email.